Hello, hi first graders. We are here today to do our vocabulary story for the week. So this week our vocabulary story is called Grandpa's Tree. And before I read this story out loud to you, we're going to talk about what the vocabulary words are and what they mean, and then you can be listening for those words as I read the story. So our first vocabulary word is whispered. And I think we all know about what whispered means, but whispered means that you speak in a very soft voice. So it's very quiet so that not a lot of people can hear it. Our next vocabulary word is the word clues. So in this story, you're going to hear them talking about the color and size may give us clues. And clues are little bits of information that are going to help somebody solve a problem. So be listening for that word in the story. The next word is detectives. So in the story, you're going to hear someone say, "So you two detectives solve the mystery," Grandpa said. And detectives are people who use those clues that we talked about to solve a problem or a mystery. The next vocabulary word is clever. So in the story, you're going to hear someone say, "It was very clever to put those clues together." And if you're clever, that's just a fancy way to say that you're very smart. Our next vocabulary word is poked. So Dad poked his head into the room. That's what you're going to hear in the story. And poked just means you moved or pushed into something. Yeah, so you might push into your brother or sister, or you might push into your shoulder. Yeah, so if you poke into something, that just means you move or you push into something. And our last vocabulary word is sneaky. So in the story it says, "That was sneaky of you to find a project to make me forget my leg," Grandpa said. And sneaky just means that you act in a way that is very secret. So if you're being sneaky, it's like you're trying to keep a secret. So be listening for these words as we read this story together. Remember, this story is called Grandpa's Tree. Grandpa's favorite tree was an old maple tree that stood in the corner of his yard. Every time Tara and Justin went to visit, Grandpa would tell stories about his tree. "Have I told you how that tree was planted on the day that I was born?" he would ask. "Did you know that I carved your grandma's initials in that tree? Do you know that when your dad was your age, he fell out of that tree and broke his arm?" Tara and Justin loved to hear these stories again and again. They also loved to visit Grandpa. He always had a new project for them to work on, and they had such fun together. One day, Tara and Justin went to Grandpa's house expecting a usual visit, but things were different. Grandpa hardly spoke at all, and he didn't want to do anything. "He's just grumpy because he broke his leg and can't move around very well," Dad whispered. "Why don't you go out and play?" So now would be a good time for you to pause the story if you have a moment and talk about with your mom or dad or brother or sister, or you can just write it down on a piece of paper. Why do you think that Grandpa is being so grumpy? Why might he be grumpy? We're going to keep reading. Tara and Justin went out, but they didn't play. They talked about Grandpa. "I think Grandpa needs a project," Justin said. "I think we all need a project," Tara said. Just then, Tara noticed a shell from a bird's egg under Grandpa's tree. "Look," she said, "a bird's egg. I wonder, what kind of bird did this egg come from?" Justin looked. "The color and size may give us clues. It's tiny and blue. It might be from a robin. Let's tell Grandpa." Justin and Tara hurried back into the house. "Hey, Grandpa," Justin called. "Did you know that there is a bird living in your tree? We think it may be a robin." "Oof," grunted Grandpa. "What makes you think so?" "We found this blue eggshell under the tree," said Tara. "So there has to be a nest in the tree," Justin chimed in. "So you two detectives solved the mystery," Grandpa said. "It was very clever to put those clues together." Then Grandpa smiled Imagine that. A robin's nest in my tree. I have an idea, cried Tara. Let's make a bird feeder. Grandpa frowned. Not with this leg, I can't. Now would be another good time to pause the story if you can. Talk with someone that you're with, or maybe just write it down on a piece of paper. But why do you think Justin and Tara suggest making a bird feeder? Why would they think that making a bird feeder would be a good project for them to do? We're going to keep reading. Dad poked his head into the room. Don't be silly, he said. Since when do you make a bird feeder with your legs? Justin, go get Grandpa's tools from the garage. Tara, I saw some wood in the basement. I will clear the table. For a moment, Grandpa looked almost happy. Then he saw the wood. These pieces are too big, he grumbled. Draw a pattern, said Dad patiently. I'll cut the wood to match. So Grandpa started drawing the sizes for the pieces of wood as he planned the bird feeder. He started talking. Have I told you how that tree was planted on the day that I was born? Justin and Tara smiled. Tell us about it, Grandpa. The next few days went by quickly as they worked on the bird feeder. Finally, it was done. Grandpa, Tara, and Justin watched from the window as Dad hung it on the tree. That was sneaky of you. To find a project to make me forget about my leg, Grandpa said. It wasn't sneaky, Grandpa, said Tara. We just know that you are happy when you do things. Look, said Justin. The bird found the feeder. It is a robin. Grandpa chuckled. Imagine that, a robin in my tree. And the last question that you can talk about with somebody that you're with or write down on a piece of paper is, how can you tell by the end of the story that Grandpa is feeling better? How can you tell what's something that he's maybe doing that makes you think he feels better? If you need to go back through and rewatch this, you can always rewind and watch it from the beginning to answer those questions. Thank you for following along with me for our vocabulary story this week.